Everything seemed normal at first until at one point in the video, I saw my mom and my uncle smile at one another. Then he leaned in and whispered something in my mom's ear. My mom giggled and then left the table. A few seconds later, my uncle left the table and followed her in the same direction. It was all so bizarre. Did my uncle know something I didn't? What were they doing together at my grandparents' anniversary party? Did he know about my mom cheating on my dad? I texted Nicole and updated her on the new information. I knew I shouldn't be reading into it too much and that this was all probably none of my business, but my mom always told me that she knew better than me because she was the adult. But she was the one sneaking around kissing other guys behind my dad's back. Nicole told me it sounded a bit fishy, and it was weird that they were acting so close. I knew she was right. After all, my mom and uncle never even hung out before. I paced the room up and down, stomping my feet, until my phone buzzed again, and I saw a text that made my blood run cold. Nicole texted me saying, "What if your mom was having an affair with your uncle?" Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. There was no way. I texted her saying so, but she replied and asked if the guy my mom was kissing at my birthday party looked like my uncle. I thought about it and rewound the tape to look closer at what was going on. And Nicole was onto something. The guy my mom kissed at my birthday did have the same kind of hair as my uncle, and I didn't see him anywhere else on the tape. I started to panic and feel lightheaded at the thought. I wondered if my dad knew, or whether I'd have to tell him. But first, I wanted to be certain. I had to confront my mom. So, later on that day, I heard my mom get home and start washing the dishes. I raced downstairs to talk to her about it all. My head still hurting from all this new info. "Mom, did you have an affair with Uncle John?" I asked as soon as I got to the kitchen. My mom didn't even look at me. She just carried on washing the dishes and looking down at her hands. "What are you talking about, Francesca?" she replied. She wasn't even taking me seriously, so I told her everything. I told her what I saw on the tapes. I said that I knew she was lying to me. My mom turned and looked at me, with her mouth gaping and her eyes wide. She was panicking, and I could see it in her eyes. She dropped the plate she was holding, and it crashed to the floor. Then my mom started to cry. I'd never seen her cry before, and it totally freaked me out. Then she confessed to everything. She said that years ago, she had started having an affair with my uncle after she married my dad. She said that she was sure no one would find out because they broke it off over 10 years ago. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad! How could my mom do this to my dad? It was so wrong. But then I realized something that made me want to throw up. If my mom was with my dad and my uncle at the same time, then who was my father? "Is my dad even my real dad?" I asked her. I felt my stomach flip. I felt dizzy. Nothing made sense anymore. Mom said she didn't know. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to be around her anymore. I didn't even want to be in the same house as her, so I ran. I left my house and slammed the door behind me. I didn't know where I was going, but I just kept on running as tears fell from my eyes. Before I knew it, I was at Nicole's house. I explained everything to her. It felt like my whole life was a lie. Nicole asked her parents if I could stay for a little while. They had no problem with that. I was so relieved. I didn't want anything to do with my mom right now. But Mom found out and turned up at the house the next morning. She was begging me to come home. She said that Dad was asking questions and she didn't know what to say. She was crying and saying it was a mistake and she misses me. It was awful to see her so sad, but I couldn't go back. Not yet. I told her she needed to come clean to Dad about the lies and the affair and that I wanted a DNA test to see who my real dad was. After that, everything happened really fast. My mom explained everything to my dad, and he kicked her out of the house. He came and picked me up, and we cried together for a long time about everything that happened. He went with me to get the DNA test done, and we found out that my uncle was really my biological dad. I don't know who was more sad about it, me or my dad. But Dad said that he still loves me anyway, and that I'll always be his daughter, no matter what a piece of paper says. It doesn't matter to me either. I decided I didn't want anything to do with my mom or my uncle anymore. They were the ones who ruined our family. Maybe time will help heal the betrayal I feel, but right now, I don't want to speak to either of them. Besides, my dad will always be the one who raised me and cared about me, and that will never change. Have you been betrayed by a parent or someone you love before? Post your experiences and thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.